So I guess I'll start since I'm your moderator. I'm Greeter Dan Goodell, aka Daniel Terdiman. I'm a journalist. I've written a book about Second Life and edited a book about Burning Man. So I sort of bridge both of these worlds, and people thought that I would be a good choice for this. With me are Larry Harvey, the founder of Burning Man. Michael or Danger Ranger, the founder of the Black Rock Rangers. Dusty Linden. Dusty, actually, I don't know much about you, I'm afraid, so I don't know how to introduce you. And Philip Linden, who I believe some of you might know, is founder of a small virtual world named Second Life. We're here in Burning Life. This is I believe it's the 6th year, which is a annual Second Life tradition, which takes place usually shortly after Burning Man is over. And so here we are we've got center camp right behind us. So the question, Larry, was, since you have seen some of Burning Life, I'm kind of curious how it seems to you, how much of a feel of Burning Man and Black Rock City does it have to you?
Well, it's very like Burning Man in certain ways. Perceptually, it is. This environment it does inspire the sentiment of reality, and more than that, of a vast, illimitable space, and that's a lot like the Black Rock Desert. Except there are certain improvements. The laws of gravity don't seem to pertain as they do in the Black Rock Desert, and you can build things really large and make them diaphanous, and I'm rather taken with that.
It would be nice to be able to fly at Burning Man, wouldn't it?
It would always be nice to fly.
Danger Ranger, explain for those people who aren't familiar what a Burning Man Regional is.
I started the Burning Man Regional because it seems like such a natural thing to do. I've always been interested in technology and have pushed Burning Man in that direction. I actually went over, when we first started this thing, all the membership roles were on index cards in Larry's kitchen. And I said, why don't we get a computer and maybe start a database or something? And so that was the first introduction into technology that Burning Man had, about 1988, I guess it was. And beyond that, I've tried to institute more and more technology in what we do. Certainly, Burning Man is, the internet is an integral part of Burning Man. We have a very strong presence on the internet.
We now keep all of our information on digital index cards in a digital kitchen, actually, and it's a vast improvement.
So, but what is a regional for people who aren't familiar with them?
Larry, you want to go over that one?
Well, it started organically. We didn't initiate the regional movement. The regionals did. People left the desert, came back home, and decided they didn't want to stop being as they'd been at Burning Man, and they asked us to create a list so they could communicate with one another, and that grew like topsy until now a regional is someone who sits at the center of a community somewhere, anywhere in the world, and helps the community to communicate with itself, and it serves as an anchor around which people can gather and spontaneously evolve their own activities. Now we've got regionals on several continents, and they're all connected through their own list, and it's become a global movement.
Yes, there are actually more than 80 regional groups all over the planet at this time. And now this is our official virtual world regional, which has just been launched to be a part of Burning Life here.
Right.
How much
No,
is?
I've been,
How much
I've,
is?
I-
Oh, I was
I've
just
been
going to
saying
say.
for a long time. Oh, Philip, did you want to say something?
Oh, I was just going to say, how much you guys is Burning Man a global phenomenon versus a U.S. phenomenon at this point?
Well, it's interesting. I learned something that seemed a little counterintuitive this year. I was out at the event talking to a person who'd been involved in a regional event in South Africa. And of course, the folks in South Africa face very different social challenges from the people in the U.S. of A. And yet, out of at their first event, they attracted 1,000 people. That's a record for a maiden effort. So that suggests to me that it's translatable into other cultures.
Yeah, there's a way and there's a sense in which I've always been taken by how Second Life sometimes appeals, or it has an appeal that's sometimes a function of kind of how not like Second Life the real world you live in is. And I was thinking that this has got to be true with Burning Man as well, that if people are, I guess, feel less able to live the way you live at Burning Man, they might be more attracted. So maybe that record you said, Larry, is kind of an artifact of that.
Well, looking at the Burning Man here, it's often people who are seeking a source of connection in a world that's been overly commodified. We suffer from problems incident to too darn much alienating consumption. South Africa, very different. They suffer from the heritage of apartheid, but the challenge is the same in both cases. How can we connect with one another in some radically immediate and heartfelt way?
I'm curious, Larry, about the Second Life. The South African regional. Do you have a sense of how many people who went to that regional had actually been to Burning Man, or were they sort of joining a community that had, precepts and philosophies that they appreciated, but hadn't actually made the trip all the way to Black Rock Desert?
Very few, I think. But I do think there are quite a few tribal people who were using that opportunity to make connection with the broader society that historically they've been excluded from.
Interesting. So in that sense, then, a regional really isn't just for people who have had the Burning Man experience already. It's for anybody who wants to share the values and the.
No, not at all. I can tell you an illustrative story. A few years ago, when the regional movement began, one of the precocious forerunners was in Austin, Texas, and they still do Burning Flipside, and it was Harley Dubois, one of our board members. She went to this event, and there she met someone, as she told us when she got back, who said to her, "Oh, I just love Burning Man. I've been coming for 3 years. It's changed my life." And Harley said, "Well, so how do you like camping in the desert?" And she said, "Oh, no, not the one in Nevada, not that one, this one." Now, in any normal business, of course, we call our lawyer and sue them for taking our business. We virtually, I think maybe literally, someone threw their hat in the air. A great cheer went up, and that for us was a mark of success.
It's as much Burning Man culture spreading out from the desert into these other places. That's what the regional movement is about, is taking this culture and spreading it.